Hey guys! Welcome to WatchMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 R-rated movies we all snuck into as minors. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. We're looking at restricted movies released since the 80s that have appealed to minors under the age of 17. Let's get to it. Number 10. Speed. Armed with the most excellent tagline of "Get ready for rush hour," this action thriller is basically the cinematic equivalent of smashing together toy cars while pretending to be John McClane.
50! Stay above 50! Alright?
Starring Keanu Reeves from Point Break and Bram Stoker's Dracula, Speed didn't take long to pick up steam at the box office, and eventually grew into one of 1994's best-performing films.
I can't die here.
Hey, shut up, man. I got a wife.
Oh, you do?
Hey! So if you have a wife, and I don't, does that mean I'm expendable?
With an amazingly simple premise perfect for a B-movie action fest and an attractive young cast, Speed is the type of adrenaline fest associated more with the 80s than the 90s, and everyone, including teenagers, love a bit of Die Hard. Number 9. Superbad. An R-rated coming-of-age teen comedy almost seems like an oxymoron, yet Superbad exists and is pretty darn awesome.
Yeah. Good shit, right, Maroki?
According to the film's two writers, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, the script started to take shape while the pair were only teenagers, with the story taking heavy inspiration from personal experience.
Dude, is that blood?
Foul-mouthed and unapologetically raunchy, Superbad portrays late adolescence in all of its irreverent glory. Ironically, the film's authenticity prohibited anyone under the age of 17 from attending a screening.
We'll take this one off, I think so.
Just be careful because it's a meaningful sweater that means vintage.
If there's one comedy worth breaking the rules for, Superbad has to be it, although This Is the End comes in at a close second. Number 8. Wild Things. Look, there's no point in being coy. Sex sells and adolescent boys are always buying. Wild Things is an erotic thriller starring Kevin Bacon, Matt Dillon, Neve Campbell, and Denise Richards.
Now I want you two to kiss. Come on now. Never let the sun go down on an argument.
The 1998 film more than lives up to its genre, notoriously including multiple explicit scenes, including a threesome featuring Scream's Sidney Prescott, and a future Bond girl. With the internet still in its infancy, the temptation to sneak in and catch a screening of the infamous and scandalous Wild Things might have seemed like the opportunity of a lifetime.
Ladies and germs. Tonight's feature film stars Matt Dillon, Kevin Bacon, Denise Richards Blamos, and Neve Campbell. It is rated R for adult language and sexual situations.
Let's go. Number 7. Scream. Even though direct-to-video sequels continued to be distributed at an exhausting rate, the horror and slasher genres were on the brink of irrelevance in the mid-90s. Casting recognizable actors and directed by Wes Craven, Scream was the self-aware breath of fresh air desperately needed by the genre, and even managed to impress critics.
Scary night, isn't it? With the murders and all, it's like right out of a horror movie or something.
As a teenager, who didn't love the taboo of a horror film? Your parents hated them out of principle, and that made them thrilling regardless of quality. But a new slasher film starring Monica from Friends and Drew Barrymore, that was an absolute must-watch. Number 6. The Hangover. Superbad, only with adults replacing the high school students. The Hangover came out in 2009 to a surprisingly positive critical reception and became a huge commercial success.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
A masterclass of building anticipation and hype, The Hangover's trailer shows 4 friends going to Vegas, blacking out, and waking up without any memories to face the consequences of a reckless night.
I look like a nerdy hillbilly.
Anyone who saw the trailer couldn't help but want to learn what happened just as much as the characters in the film. Add Mike Tyson, a tiger, and a baby to the equation, and The Hangover became mandatory viewing, whether you were a minor or not.
That is not Doug.
What are you talking about, Willis? That him!
Number 5. American Pie. 1999's unsettled teen comedy has to be analyzed in context to be truly appreciated. During an era defined by enjoyable, albeit tame teen flicks like She's All That and Clueless, American Pie announced its arrival with a high school student masturbating into a sock, and revolves around 4 friends making a pact to lose their virginity.
Perhaps you could help me with my studies.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be great sometime.
Compared to other movies released during the same period, American Pie's depiction of adolescence is a touch more genuine, if at times exaggerated.
What happened? What did he do?
He blew it.
Culturally, the film capitalized on America's newfound willingness to address sex following the Clinton-Lewinsky scandal. For teens, it was a nasty slice of life that everyone was talking about.
I got some scotch.
Single mom?
Aged 18 years. The way I like it.
Number 4. The Matrix. In the late 90s, action movies were more preoccupied with big explosions than anything of actual substance. For every Men in Black, there were 5 Wild Wild Wests.
When you're telling this story to your grandkids, you make sure that you leave this part out.
Besides being a big-budget cyberpunk blockbuster about superpowered characters jumping through the air in slow motion, The Matrix willingly explores several philosophical subjects like existentialism and Marxism.
Most of these people are not ready to be unplugged.
The Wachowskis birthed a cultural phenomenon that helped usher in a new era in Hollywood, and The Matrix was impossible to escape at the time. Even more so than the innovative special effects or thoughtful themes, the main reason to sneak in to see this R-rated movie was far simpler. The Matrix just looked really cool. And it was.
He is the one.
Number 3. Deadpool. Rated R superhero flicks are not completely out of the norm. However, Kick-Ass and Dredd do not take place within 20th Century Fox's X-Men universe.
Fine! I only have 12 bullets, so you're gonna have to share.
Let's count them down.
Fueled by a sense of injustice at the character's portrayal in X-Men Origins Wolverine, Deadpool profited from an unconventional marketing company, driven by Ryan Reynolds' willingness to appear as the Merc with a mouth to promote the film.
Your face is the stuff of nightmares.
Like a testicle with teeth.
You will die alone.
The superhero movie expertly utilized the internet to amass enough hype to become one of the highest-grossing R-rated films of all time. And that's without taking into account the countless people who likely bought a ticket for Kung Fu Panda 3, but actually watched Deadpool. Logan is another R-rated superhero flick that also needed to be watched in cinemas. Number 2. Terminator 2: Judgment Day. The Terminator introduced an iconic movie villain and cemented Arnold Schwarzenegger as an A-list actor. For the sequel, James Cameron only had to confirm the T-800 was returning for more to guarantee success, and Terminator 2: Judgment Day's teaser trailer accomplished this goal splendidly.
My CPU is a neural net processor, a learning computer. The more contact I have with humans, the more I learn.
Due to the sequel coming out 7 years after the original, most people, regardless of age, were familiar with the Terminator. Boasting the highest, at the time, production budget and a theme song by Guns N' Roses, Judgment Day was pretty much the event of the summer.
I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do.
Before we unveil our R-rated number 1 pick, let's take a look at a few irresistible honorable mentions.
Your move, creep.
It's a cat!
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. This is the tidal wave.
Hey, by the way, don't let me forget, you and I gotta nail down a plan for the Bruins game tomorrow night.
No, I can't. I'm taking Laurie to dinner.
For what?
Well, we've been dating 4 years tomorrow.
Oh, me. Nice.
And the 8th and final rule. If this is your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight.
Number 1. South Park: Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. The opening sequence literally involves the iconic 4 boys sneaking into an R-rated screening of Terrence and Phillip's Asses of Fire.
This can't be happening. We have to see this movie, dude. Ah, screw it. It probably isn't all that good anyway.
Of course, an R rating did not prevent anyone from seeing South Park. For the subversive cartoon's feature-length debut, Trey Parker and Matt Stone fought tooth and nail to convince the MPAA to reduce South Park's rating from an NC-17 to an R.
Come on, rub my nipples while I torture this little piggy.
So, could I talk to you over here for a second?
The lower rating allowed for a wider distribution and provided more opportunities for fans to sneak into a screening after purchasing a ticket for Wild Wild West.
Canadians are attacking! Run for your lives!
Come on, we have to shut off the power!
Life really does imitate art. R-rated movies, the ultimate forbidden fruit. What did you guys think of the list? Which movies did you sneak into as a minor? Let us know in the comments below, and check out these videos.